Well, we've all had to get used to some pretty extraordinary and frankly alarming changes to our lives. As individuals, we are isolating or trying to, and I suppose in a peculiar way you could perhaps say the world is coming together in locking down. But it is worth pausing for a moment to reflect on what has happened over the last 10 days. The world has, by and large, just stopped. This is Moscow's Red Square, for example, normally full of tourists, even in winter. Now there are just a couple of ambling security officials with, as you can see, not much to do. Or how about Rome? This is the Colosseum, normally one of the busiest tourist destinations in the world. No traffic too in Dubai, shopping centre of the Middle East. Its normally busy streets abandoned, the usual hordes of late-night browsers a distant memory. This is Paris, and the Eiffel Tower, of course, still lit up in France's darkest of hours and where all is eerily quiet. And this is Madrid's central square, the Puerta del Sol, where the lockdown is now total and most streets are deserted. And this, of course, New York, arguably the heartbeat of global capitalism. If we have never witnessed anything quite like it, the economic consequences are as yet unknowable. No wonder then that in Washington the president has prepared his country, which is already experiencing distressing scenes, for what he called the roughest 2 or 3 weeks it has ever had.
In New York, these are the distressing scenes outside some of the hospitals. There is little dignity as the state grapples with a mounting death toll that is tonight nearing 2,000. Hospital staff are under immense and growing pressure, fearing most of all what lies ahead.
Expect it to be like Italy. The Trump administration issues a stark warning about the spread of coronavirus.
Together we have the power to save countless lives. We're attacking the virus on every front with social distancing, economic support.
A grim story here in the UK as well. The daily death toll passes 500 for the first time. Italy prolongs its stringent lockdown measures, but families are now allowed to take their children for a walk. And the painter David Hockney, in lockdown in France, shares with us some of the drawings that have kept him busy. The Director General of the World Health Organization has said he is deeply concerned about the rapid rise in the number of cases of coronavirus. He told an international news briefing that the pandemic was currently growing exponentially.
Over the past 5 weeks, we have witnessed a near exponential growth in the number of new cases, reaching almost every country, territory, and area. The number of deaths has more than doubled in the past week. In the next few days, we will reach 1 million confirmed cases and 50,000 deaths.
Let's get some of the day's other news now. The UK government has confirmed that the UN climate change conference due to be held in Glasgow in November has been postponed due to coronavirus. It will now take place at some point in 2021, but the exact date has yet to be fixed. Spain has once more seen its worst day yet in the coronavirus pandemic, with 864 patients dying. More than 9,000 people have now died since the outbreak began in that country, nearly 3 times the number registered in China. But Spain's case rate does show signs of slowing. France has also reported its highest daily number of deaths since the epidemic began in that country. 509 more people have died in hospital, bringing the toll to just over 4,000. Officials have also issued more than 350,000 fines to people who've been breaking the lockdown without good reason. There has been another significant rise in the number of people in the UK dying with coronavirus. The government has described it as an invisible killer that is the biggest threat this country has faced in decades. 563 patients have died in the UK in the past 24 hours. Most of the cases are in London, but health authorities say the threat is everywhere. Here's our political editor, Laura Koonsberg.
Hilda Churchill, who lived through a pandemic a century ago, the oldest victim at 108. Dr. Ardil El-Tuyar, the first medic to pass away. Doreen Hunt, a grandmother who died on Mothering Sunday. As coronavirus has taken hold, just some of the faces of its early victims. But as the numbers grow, more families lose mothers, daughters, fathers and sons. And one of the latest, the 4th medic to lose his life, Dr. Alpha Sadhu, who'd returned to work to help. But a time of anxiety for our health and the country's wealth is a growing time of political pressure too.
The World Health Organization is considering whether to update its guidance on the routine wearing of face masks to prevent the spread of coronavirus. It currently recommends that healthy people don't need them unless they're caring for those with the disease, but advisors will weigh up whether new research on the virus can be projected further than previously thought, so whether the virus can be projected further than previously thought during coughs and sneezes.